This question's for everybody. And one of the things that we keep hearing in the committee is employers are telling us how reluctant they are to expand their companies or hire workers, until there's some sort of certainty out there about what the future holds. And I'm specifically interested, if you have your own company or if you want to speak on behalf of your association, have you frozen your business decisions at this point because of the uncertainty? And if you could also give me one thing or two things that your government policies right now that have you more concerned about the economic recovery than anything else. I'll start with Mr. Buddington.
I have been with the same company straight out of college, started here in customer service. I was hired during a recession, had some times of prosperity. I took over CEO during a recession, and now I'm the principal majority owner in a new recession. So in my experiences, every recession is different, and it's very hard to put this recession in perspective, but this one seems very different. It seems longer. It seems to affect a broader group of our clients that we depend on grabbing our revenue from. And I will say that in 2001, I was really focused on changing the business model and how we would invest to make the business model work to that new model. In this recession, we have a moving surface that we're standing on. I mean, the economy, there's a lot of uncertainty. I mean, if I look at Yahoo Finance today, there's going to be 10 different opinions on where the Dow is going to go and how the economy is going to improve or fall off a cliff. And for a business owner, I don't understand what the answer is to where we are going. And that level of uncertainty is hard for me to make decisions. Every piece of debt that I bring into my company, I personally guarantee with my home, with my children's college funds and my 401k. Having a lack of certainty in the business climate is something that I'm used to. But from the government climate, from where I see the government's approach, there's a lot of pressure on taxation. There's a lot of pressure on the rules of how this would work. I mean, my investments are under $800,000 for Section 179. Well, what if they go over that? Depreciation gets extended, but I don't have a long-term plan on how this depreciation should work in my business. An understanding of how some assets that we purchase in this new economy are going to change much faster than the depreciation schedule allows us to, and we seem to defer those decisions down the road. That uncertainty, for me, complicates the uncertainty that I'm already navigating through in this economy.
Well, Mr. Graves, I would begin by saying I agree 100% with your opening remark that we don't have a tax problem. We do have a spending problem. And like all of us up here are small businesses, I believe the best thing that government can do for any of us is to curb government spending and to allow us all to keep more of our own money to spend in the economy. A tax credit to me for hiring a new employee is not going to prompt me to hire a new employee. Increased demand for my goods and services will prompt me to hire employees, and that's the only thing that will prompt me to hire employees. I've postponed the purchase of vehicles recently because of the downturn in the economy and the uncertainty as to how many employees I'm going to have. One of the reasons I postponed that decision is I reduced the number of employees and I parked vehicles that would normally have been used. I have a lot of uncertainty about health care. Every day I read something else about another provision of the health care law that seemed to be unknowns to us before that is coming. I'm worried about taxes. I'm very worried about estate taxes. The death of George Steinbrenner, they pointed out today that the family there saved $500 million because he died this year instead of next year or last year. And I think that's a horrible thing for anyone who owns his own business to have to try and predict how the business will continue in the event of the majority shareholder's death. What will have to be done with the business have to be sold in order to pay the estate taxes in 9 months or else. Perhaps that's something that Congress could look at and give us some flexibility in how those estate taxes are paid. I still have a hard problem realizing or understanding how Congress believes or the government believes that death is a taxable event. And like Mr. Buddington, I have a lack of confidence right now in what government's doing to help small business and help restore confidence in what's going on. I read increasingly of a lot of taxpayer, voter lack of confidence in government's ability to get us out of this. And when people read that, it just reinforces the thought process that they shouldn't be spending money right now and that maybe they should hang on to what they got. I read something last week, that said that our stock market performance is mirroring exactly what it did after the Great Depression when we double dipped. and I actually thought about, should I take my money out of my 401k and put it into a more secure investment than leaving it in the stock market, which is exactly what we shouldn't be thinking or doing, but that's what we're hearing.
Mr. Vandermolen.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Thank you. I can echo what these other two guys have said, and with the addition that, you know, fear is a terrible thing. You know, fear can strangle any kind of movement, whether it's economically or whether we walk out of the front door in the morning. And it's with uncertainty, people are not going to invest, and that's one of the things that I think what we can do is look at how do we develop a culture that says, you know what, I am going to invest, and I can expect some kind of return on that investment. The equipment is going to do a task, it's going to be productive, and there's value there. But when fear makes us do things like not buy trucks or not buy equipment or not add to facilities, whatever that might be, or add jobs, add people's work and at our places of business, then you know, we can't go forward. Small business is very much has got a strangle. It's got a strangle on us if we operate by fear, and we need some confidence out here that there's things that can happen for the greater good, and this bonus depreciation is one piece of it. It can't. The bonus depreciation all in itself will not do us any good. People still have to make money. Businesses have to make money so that they can reinvest into equipment and things like that, and that's why we really need that bonus depreciation along with some other things like whether it be highway bills or water infrastructure, right. You know, some small business incentives that can help that, and I think too that bonus depreciation can help with a tangible product. I mean, it's something that you can see things are happening. You know, you can put your fingers on it. You know, if we spend money on things that you can't see, that doesn't give anybody any confidence that we're going in the right direction.
Mr. Fessler.
Thank you. That's a great question. For us, we're in the housing industry, and people want houses. People are trying to get them. People work hard to get them. The largest holdup to having people move forward with that today is the availability of credit. The government used to fund roughly 10 to 15% of the houses that were built through Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and a few others. Today, they are 60% of the money that's available for housing. The financial industry has been unwilling to step back into that industry and start lending heavily again. A lot of that is due to the uncertainty of the regulations that are going to get hammered on them, and they don't want to find themselves in a bad place. So there's a lot of holding off on the advancing of credit. That has more to do with the development and growth of our business than anything else right now. Until the financial institutions begin to release funding for the construction business again, construction is going to move very slowly. There's a pent-up demand for it. People want it, but they can't afford it. That's going to be directly related to the job creation we have. We will grow jobs as the economy recovers and people begin to move into housing. We had over 800 employees. Now we have less than 400. Those jobs will come back slowly over time. As far as purchasing of equipment goes, if equipment was more affordable, either through tax incentives or other programs, we would purchase more. We need $800,000 in trucking equipment this year, but our banks will only support us to a level of $600,000. That means we spend more money on baling wire and duct tape. And that's not a very effective way to manage a business, but that's the environment we're in. It's hang on and make things work.
Mr. Sanford.
Thank you. It's unusual. I've never seen these other four gentlemen, but I believe we're living under the same tent. Our anxieties about the economy and the market going forward, the uncertainty in the marketplace is just amazing to me, especially in my business where we take chunks in assets in millions of dollars with equipment when we make purchases. And without the enactment of a multi-year reauthorization for federal highway transportation bill, extending into the FAA programs and for transit programs, which we do work in all of those areas, there's just too much uncertainty, as Mr. Buddington said, to risk your personal guarantee of your home and your family, as we do day to day, to make investments in equipment. And especially without the bonus depreciation to help in the small way that it would help for us, it's just making those decisions that are almost off the table. And I want to mention the access to credit. Access to credit now seems tougher in our industry as we go forward trying to finance jobs than it's ever been. And I'm watching daily friends and colleagues in our industry go out of business. Good businesses that have been in business for 30 and 40 years because just doing foolish things, trying to cash flow their businesses by bidding in increments below their cost, feeling that they're just going to be able to continue their business through by cash flowing because they say they've got a contract. That's not happening. What they're doing is working themselves directly out of business. And so that's why I mentioned in my remarks earlier that the reauthorization and depreciation, all of these things are like one leg to the three-legged stool. They all got to go in conjunction with each other.
Thank you.
Mr. Sands, I know that I need to recognize the gentleman, and I will. And would you yield for a second? Mr. Sanford, where would your industry would be today if it wasn't for the stimulus package?
Well, I regret to tell you the work I have in Virginia, I've not received any stimulus money. We've been fortunate that we are multidisciplined. We do airport work, and I do have a project at a fairly large airport, and we're working for some military contracts with the Navy and the Marine Corps in North Carolina at some military bases. So to the respect that they've gotten stimulus money for that spending, it's keeping me going right now.
But you call for the reauthorization of a multi-year government investment.
And for multi-year for highway projects,
yeah,
for the Highway Reinvestment Act.
So in a way, it's a recognition that investment is needed coming from the government in terms of the multi-year
Well, yes.
highway bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Moore.